Oh, that was fascinating. Excellent, excellent talk. So much to think about. I'm so happy that my husband is here too, so we can implement all of that for the kids. So I would like to invite Dan Cave to do some concluding remarks to this event. Dan Cave is the CEO of the Envolve People Care, this company that's dedicated to behavior change. Previously, Dan led the Nurture Health, one of the 4 Envolve People Care legacy companies, in the hope of answering the question, why aren't we in a better health? And what is so unique about Dan is that he's actually practicing what he's preaching. So from what I can observe, he's always eating healthy, and you can always catch him when he comes to St. Louis running around here in 4 in the morning for his daily run. Dan is also the true visionary behind the inception and the creation of the center. As he tells us often, he has been dreaming about it for a long time. So it's so great, too, that this dream is, coming true with that.
Thank you, McCall. Well, if I'm part of the beginning of it, she's what keeps it going. So she is our energy in this center. There have been times when the going got tough, over the past couple of years. But so McCall, I want to thank you because you have been our energy. So I know I'm standing between you and cocktail reception. That's what they do for me because I could talk for a really long time. But the one thing that will get me to not talk for a long time is cocktail reception. And I have also been given a script, sort of. I will veer off it a little bit, but I hope I will ultimately get done what I was asked to get done, which was to tie this all together for you. You've heard all these incredible thoughts and incredible expertise here today, and I'm going to try and bring it together for you in 5 or 10 minutes. And I think the way to do that, besides thanking Washington University and Dean Lawler and all the brilliant researchers, and thanking Dan and the folks at Duke, and frankly thanking all the people who work at Centene and Jesse and Michael for supporting this, and the people who are working on these projects. Besides thanking them and letting you hear all about them, I thought I would best tie this together by taking you on a little journey, a journey into the heart and soul of this center. Because it's really not a center. You'll see a sign up there on the door on the 3rd floor, I guess, and you'll see nice brochures. But the center are the people who comprise it. And so to take you on that journey, I'm going to first take you on a little diversion and ask you a question. Dan already asked a question, do you have children? So for those of you, by show of hands, who has children? Okay, virtually everybody. Of course. If you don't have a child, presumably you know someone who does, or you have siblings who have children, right? And besides that, we were all children once. So there's a unique attribute of children, and I'm going to take a risk here by telling you this story in St. Louis Cardinals territory. But my son was, I think, 5 years old in 1998. And for those of you, some of you know me, so I'm really a baseball player. I'm just not that good at it, so I have to do this instead. So, but that is truly what I love to do, and I coached baseball for many years. And my son started early, and he was 5 years old in 1998. And his first baseball game ever was the game one of the 1998 World Series in New York City at Yankee Stadium, which I know you guys have a great baseball team and great baseball tradition, but it is the cathedral of baseball in New York. Ooh. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I take risk in saying that here. And I also know we have some Red Sox fans in this room because I recognize them and they will get me later, Dave. But seriously, I want to take you back to then, if you were a baseball fan. The Yankees went on and won that World Series in 1998. So my son, at 5 years old, was at the game in his Yankee pajamas, stuffed in a snowsuit because my wife was terrified, because I'm not allowed to make decisions either. So my wife put him in a snowsuit and then stretched the the pajamas over him, so he looked like a sausage, or the Michelin Man, right? But he was wearing his Yankee pajamas. So he watched the Yankees win the World Series in 1998. He watched the Yankees win the World Series in 1999. He watched the Yankees win the World Series in 2000, and then in 2001, two bad things happened, right? One was the World Series got delayed. You may remember that. That's a topic for a whole nother discussion. The Yankees lost. Game 7. So my son, who had assumed that this happened every year, in fact, in his memory, I don't think he remembered much of baseball before 1998, he was crushed. He could not fathom that the Yankees didn't win the World Series. So you know what? Now, for those of you who have kids, you know those times when those kids ask you why, right? They ask you why. So he comes to me, like I'm gonna know. Why did they lose the World Series, Dad? Well, Alex, they lost Game 7. Why? Oh, I wasn't prepared for that question. Well, Alex, Luis Gonzalez got a broken bat hit off of Mariano Rivera. Why? Why did they lose? Well, there was a runner at second, and Mariano made an error. Why? Now here comes the coach. Well, he didn't close his shoulder when he threw. Why? Well, it wasn't just Mariano's fault. You know, there's a guy named Alfonso Soriano who played for one of the teams you guys don't like here in St. Louis, right? Who made 3 errors in the game. Why? Well, Alex, he didn't get down on a ground ball. Why? Well, that's the question. Why didn't he get down on the ground ball? If we could answer that question, we'd solve healthcare problems, right? Because, let me ask, how many people think that Alfonso Soriano doesn't know that he's supposed to get down on a ground ball? How many people think Mariano Rivera, when he's pivoting to throw to second base on a possible double play, doesn't know how to throw an accurate throw to second base? So Dan said, we've attempted to tell people, we've attempted to show them the caloric intake of their food. That did nothing to change behavior. In our company, we try and change behavior every day for hundreds and thousands of people. And when I first joined that company, you know how we tried to do that? We tried to tell them to get down on the ground ball. We tried to tell people to get down on the ground ball. And if they didn't get down on the ground ball, guess what we did? We said, but you're supposed to get down on the ground ball, right? We said, you're supposed to take your insulin. You're supposed to monitor your blood sugar. You're supposed to exercise. You're supposed to take your medications, right? But they didn't. We just kept telling them. Sometimes they did, but many of them didn't. So, as in Dan's talk, to pull Dan's part of it into the work we do, doesn't matter. So I'm going to ask now a different question. And McCall said it at the beginning, and I hope you get to see our video for the Envolve Center because we talk about it there too. I'm going to ask a question that's an uncomfortable question. I've been asking it for a long time, and I started by asking it of myself because a lot of people that work with me were asking it of me. So this question is a tough one. Why aren't you in better health? Think about it. Before I go on, how many people here are in perfect health? Anybody? Oh, we got one. Perfect health. Okay. So for the rest of you, could you be in better health? Of course. What if we broaden that word? What if we broaden it out to the point that David made a bit and others have made? What if we made it health and well-being? Why aren't you in better health and well-being? Right? Let me give you part of the answer. I'm going to read something to you as well. See if I can, I'm getting old, so it's a little harder for me now. So I'm going to just read an excerpt from something. But the author of this says, members, the people we work with, preoccupied with solving problems of housing, utilities, lack of food, or unreliable transportation don't have the time or energy to either stay focused on some promised interview with a health coach, whatever that is, or remember a short phone call from weeks in the past. When they are faced with concerns about feeding a family on a limited income or finding transportation to work, routine health care inevitably takes a backseat until an acute situation arises, making a trip to the emergency room unavoidable. In other words, many are, out of necessity, what psychologists call present-oriented. I could go on. I don't have to. That didn't come from academic research. That came from somebody who does this every day. And if she's here, I'd like to point her out. Michelle, are you? Michelle Lane? Would you stand up for a moment? Michelle is one of our health coaches. We asked our employees to write essays about what they hope to learn, what their aspirations are for the center. And Michelle wrote those words. And so, Michelle, thank you. So let's give Michelle. And as part of those words, she won the best employee essay, and so she got a 2-day all-expense trip, paid trip to St. Louis, Missouri in January. So at least it's not snowing. All right. So you get what I'm trying to get at, right? Why aren't we in better health? So think about it yourselves. Michelle eloquently stated why many of our people that she's working with are not in better health, and she's searching for better science. She aspires to do better work. She wants this center to give her better tools. That's what she wants. Okay? Why aren't you in better health? Your child's homework? You're told to exercise? In this room, we're all educated, presumably? Presumably? We know better, right? We know better. We know what we're supposed to do. Why don't we do it? It's because life gets in the way. So if we ignore life, we do that at our own peril. And we have people on the front lines every day, like Michelle, who are trying to change the behaviors of the people they serve. And this center is their hope. That is part of the heart and soul of this center. It's people like Michelle who want to do better. Now, here's the real tough part. We can teach them what to do. We can tell people what to do. We can help them with their lives. And guess what? Some of us still won't change. That's the frightening part. We know we can help them with other priorities to make health a priority. Some of them still won't change. There's something else that's missing. There's something that has to do with psychology and human behavior that we must unlock. And I asked our team 2 years ago, and many of them are in the audience, to go find that science, to find what we were missing. And guess what? It's not there. It doesn't exist. David talked about applying science at Head Start and a variety of other organizations. We are ready to apply science, but we don't have it. And so that's the third piece. What is the science? How do we motivate people to change behavior? You heard of our areas of research that we're starting with. We are on a journey. The journey is being led by people who have that same passion to change the world's health, and the world's well-being. So, I said, Eddie, it was what? It was in your house, or maybe it was at one of the first events here. I said, and this will sound very terrible to folks who do research for a living. I really have no interest in research, per se. I don't. I want to change the health of the people we serve. From our commercial clients, employees of Fortune 500 companies who are stressed out, to Medicaid recipients, to Medicare beneficiaries, that's what we are interested in. I believe passionately that science holds the key. That's why I'm interested in research. That's why our company is interested in research. We're not here because we just want to publish stuff. I know you guys will get to publish stuff. I'm sorry, Deborah. And that'll be wonderful. But we are here to make a difference, to apply the science. We're begging for it. We aspire for this center to create it, to find it, to unlock it, and to help us make a difference in the lives, not just of the people we serve, but of the world. That's a simple aspiration. It may not happen in my lifetime, but it will happen in our children's lifetime. I am convinced. So with that said, I've talked a little bit about the members we serve. I want to direct you. I know we have the reception coming after Eddie wraps it up, but we have some member journeys up on the second floor to your right. I encourage you to take a look at them. That's about what we're doing every day in the work we do. I want to share with you that I am incredibly humbled by what's happened over the past 2 years to create this. I am deeply, deeply privileged and gracious to be associated with the work of the center, with the work of the people that are involved in it. I can't tell you what it means to me to have this assembly of talent and brain power here today. And I know every one of you, by your presence, are as interested and as passionate about changing health in our country. So I want to thank all of you. I want to thank you on behalf of Centene, on behalf of Envolve and Envolve People Care, on behalf of the millions and millions